Now remember, lads, please remember this. Get your hats, your scarves, 2 jumpers, and a big heavy fucking jacket, because it's -12 in Glasgow!
By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling, Michael, they have taken you away, for you stood your valiant scorn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wing. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crowd, I rebelled, they knocked me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. Low lie the fields of Athenry.
Yes, good evening, we're back with a Celtic Unrestricted View. How are we? My name's JP. Listen folks, I hope you're all well, and joining me tonight is my favourite person in the whole wide world. It's our very own Mr Andy Gray, and it looks like Mr Andy Gray has fell out with a Mac 3 razor blade, my man. What's going on there? Talk us through the beard, mate.
Well, I thought myself, I'm turning 30 soon, mate. I need to show a bit of facial hair these days because I look like a wee baby when I have no facial hair. A wee baby with no facial hair, and I look like my sister when my sister's jumping around for the night. So I thought myself, a bit of manly look, mate, a bit of scruffiness.
Right,
Some of
okay.
the females easily like a bit of scruffiness, mate. So I
Right,
need to
okay.
show my manly side. You know what I mean?
Okay, and has that been a problem? It's arised recently, mate. Is that you just starting to show you're a man, or what's going on there?
Don't know, mate. According to you, you're my favourite person, mate, so I'm always a man.
No, you're my favourite person. No, I'm your favourite person. But, no, it's good to see you again, mate. I can't remember the last time I spoke to you. Was that about an hour ago? In all honesty. When was the last time we had pies, Jack? Yesterday?
Yesterday. I'm sick of that lobster thermidor.
I was getting fed up with that lobster thermidor, aye. You get, aye. Do you mind getting this one? I'm just about to get a concierge in the lavatory, some small change.
Fancy a pie, Tim? Aye, we'll come and get out of there.
I come back in the morning and get out of there. Well, as I said at the beginning, lovely to see you, mate. And we're here because this man here, Captain Ange, has now got his surging ring towards 2 in a row. Absolute phenomenal, mate. Considering where we were about 18 months ago, nearly 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years coming summer, and obviously we'll be crowned 2 in a row champions under this guy. So I think from where where the mindset for everybody was, and the getting into this, who was he? What was he? No, nobody told him, and now all of a sudden we all know who he is, and he's just been an absolute blessing, mate, hasn't he?
Aye, obviously before the captain Ange came in, we didn't really know what was happening. Obviously Eddie Howe was going to come in and take over. That was kind of
Yep.
It was kind of signed, and obviously due to other circumstances, Eddie couldn't come. But look at Eddie Howe now; he's been amazing at Newcastle, considering he's not spent the amount of money that people probably thought he'd have spent, and especially in January. Eddie Howe for me would have been a top manager for Celtic. I'm not saying he'd have done everything that Ange's done, but he'd have done something similar in terms of trophies. I think he'd have won his league anyway. Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe's phenomenal.
Yep.
I think a lot of people were kind of giving him a bit of disservice when he was coming to Celtic. Oh, why has he got to Celtic? He's done nothing. And if you look at Eddie Howe's track record, we've done at Bournemouth. He'd hardly spent I know the last bit he's tenure, he spent a bit of money on guys like Solanke and stuff. Didn't really work out, but listen, down there, £20 million to some of these teams is nothing. But in terms of Ange, mate, like me and you said at the start of the season, when he came in, the start of that season, sorry, well, who is this guy? And I think I even put in Twitter, like, why are we signing this guy? Like, who is he? He's a nobody to us. And I wanted somebody better. I think because of a name like Eddie Howe, I might have not been proven in terms of European football, but he was proven doing it in that league. Worked against some of the best coaches, some of the best players. His attacking football was good. I'm thinking, right. And went to Ange, I'm thinking, right, why have we got this guy? Why did it all of a sudden go up? Because as soon as Eddie Howe was not the manager, he went even money with Sky Bet. It was basically odds on right away. He comes, so I'm thinking, right, why was that? So you obviously go and do your due diligence. Done well with Australia, he's done well in Japan, blah 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 blah. He's obviously his dad is very well in with football as well, and you're just thinking the guy's actually a very good background. Like you say, mate, it takes a lot of things to go and actually do your research, and we've done that, obviously, because you're doing this. You can't sit on here and talk absolute rubbish because you'll just get thrown back in your face. And we've got quite lucky in my sense, JP. I believe we've got an elite manager. I'm not saying he's Pep Guardiola. I'm not saying he's Mourinho. I'm not saying he's like them. But he's close, in my opinion, in terms of, I'm not going to say he's in the bracket exactly, but he's very, very close to being up top any team they can manage. Like we've said before, if Graham Potter can go to Chelsea, why can Ange? And that's not me saying Ange's got to go to Chelsea. I'm just saying, ambitious-wise, why can teams like Chelsea not come in for Ange or Liverpool or Man United or teams doing that out or abroad, etc.? For me,
no, I'm glad you reiterated that there. I'm glad you came back in, because I was waiting on a barrage of comments coming in there, mate.
No, I'm not that silly, mate.
For MD actually, there, Ange isn't Ryan isn't Ange's agent, by the way, so he's not actually trying to get him a move.
Well, to be fair, I could have been McGregor's agent this year, Jota's, Vic, the amount of people I praised this year, mate, I could be we're saying that I'm well in with George Mendes, isn't it? So,
well, that's it. Well, we know that. Me, you, and Jonathan Burns had a wee chat about that, didn't we? So definitely.
I'll text my mate Ronnie and see if he fancies to come out of Saudi Arabia and come and play with us.
Right, okay.
No, in terms of Ange, mate, in a serious matter, I think he's been superb for us. Just the way he's got his playing football, mate, it's some of the best football I've seen at Celtic, if not the best. I've been lucky. I've lived through Martin O'Neill's era when we were winning trebles, and then obviously through to Dylas, it was okay. Mowbray was hopeless. You've seen some horror shows, and then you've seen some brilliant shows. But for me, this has been, in terms of football wise, I'll say it's probably been the best football I've seen, mate. Just the way we're playing, and he's brought a new brand of football in a sense, in terms of the dirty fullbacks. Like I've said to you, I wasn't a fan of it to start off with. I don't know if that was because it was Ralston that was playing at right back, but I thought when Ralston was playing, he was giving Abada so much room to go forward. But in Abada was giving Ralston so much room to defend with. And I thought it was just too big a gap. I thought the first 2 games we were going to call out with silly goals because Abada was away up there and Ralston was down there. And it was, for me, I thought teams were, it was getting well through so much to go and obviously defend. But overall, mate,
Yeah.
I think Ange, mate, his trophies are telling us the way we've started it. He's been superb.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's very little question of that at all. But first of all, we'll come to a couple of comments, as we always do. Feed the Bears on tonight. He says, "Good evening, all. Good evening, Bear. How you doing, mate? Please, cheers for joining us." And Kaiser's hail, hail, legends. That's a great comment, to be fair, Kaiser. I don't actually think we're at that, we're anywhere near that kind of standard at all in terms of legends. We're probably legends on this podcast. I would agree with that one. But in terms of legends, that's Ryan. I mean, you'll back me up here. That's a bracket and a pedestal on its own, mate. That you can, you know, that's a nice comment, mate, and I appreciate that. I really do, and I appreciate everybody. As I said,
Yep.
as I always say, everybody that joins in and listens to us. We totally appreciate it. We really, really do. For anybody taking the time. Francis Lester's joined us tonight as well, Ryan. You've made him feel old, mate, because he says that he's twice your age and more. So, and he reckons that, and Kaiser reckons that that's just absolute designer stubble that you have there, Ryan. So,
Was that Gucci or Armani? What is it I've got? Kaiser, let us know.
well, legends, let's face it, legends deal with stuff like that, don't they?
Aren't we shopping designer shops these days?
Aye, but you spelt shoplift wrong there, mate.
So don't say that. I'll get sacked. I'll get sacked for my joke. Jesus, man. I'll get my P45 in morning.
Aye.
I used to see my P60, P45 in morning.
He's the only guy I know that walks down Mechanic Street going like that. Here's what you could have had here.
Here's one I made earlier.
Aye, turns out it's your wee cousin's jersey you're wearing.
My sister's hoodie.
Aye. I get that quite a lot. People confuse me for it raining for me having a wet. I think I've won a wet t-shirt competition.
Saying that, but to be fair,
horrible. It's horrible being big boned, mate. It really, really is.
It's just my arse. It's big, mate. I've got that issue.
Aye.
I need to buy a size 32 jeans. Get more 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alex joined us again tonight. Alex said, "Good evening, boys. Good evening, Alex. Hope you're well, mate. Cheers for joining us." But no, getting back to Ange, Ryan. It's been a total revelation, mate. I mean, let's face it. We had the privilege going and doing a bit of homework and getting the correct stuff that we could divulge into very quickly, his career, etc. I mean, you see his CV, you go, wow, right away. We've actually got John joining us from Spain. He said, "Hola from Spain, troops." Hola, John. As you can see, mate, I'm sitting here with my hoodie on. It's actually -12.
I hope.
And in Glasgow.
I hope John's sitting with a wee sangria.
A sangria? I've never had a I don't know. I said to you before, I can't drink that stuff. I really can't. I really can't.
After 2 or 3, man, whoa, bye.
But you drink it by the jugs, but that's what you're talking about. You're not talking about glasses here.
Jugs. Jugs. I thought, all right, okay, right.
Aye, kind of similar to that big petrol canister thing you're drinking out of the now. But no, as I said, John, it's -12 here, mate. So wrap up well, mate, when you do come back, because obviously the weather back here's certainly not the same as what it is in Spain, buddy. But no, the what do you call it? The Ange Postecoglou. It's been a total revelation. It really has. I think the surprising thing is how quickly it all happened for me. Like when he came in and putting the putting his stamp on things early doors, and we saw him very quickly try and fling a team together.
Mhm.
And like it was very, very, you know, it was breathtaking to watch, mate, for a distance, because when we came in, I mean, we lost 3 games out of our first 6 under him, right? And everybody, even at the time, nobody was getting impatient for his run, because we could all see what he was trying to do.
Mhm.
We could all see for, early doors what the football he was trying to implement, the style he was trying to implement. I know at the very beginning, mate, you were kind of, your head was like a cauliflower, kind of trying to, what is this? What are these inverted fullbacks all about? Like, what the hell is going on here? You're going like that, Greg Taylor can't come in there, he can't do that. How's he going to be able to do that? Mate, no, he's turning on the ball at Tom Rogic. He is, see, everything's all half turned with him and playing through the line straight away. It's unbelievable the difference in that guy. Just all that takes, Ryan, is a bit of coaching. But like you says, an elite manager, an elite sort of mindset. And, it helps when you've got that in your corner, because, like say Maeda, I mean, he's already says about Harry Kewell.
Aye.
These guys have took these players' games on a level, or maybe even 2. But for me, the difference in certain individual players working in an environment where it would allow progression unless you're just not up to it has been a total revelation to watch for me, mate. And it's been probably not just me, but the biggest surprise for me is how quickly he's been able to do it in terms of how proactive he is in terms of his recruitment, and then getting that message over to the players very quickly, because he's signing players, Ryan, who aren't the development players. They're no guys that we're not going to see them for 6 to 8 months. They're going to have to come in and train and work hard and do this and play B team games and then come into the team. He's signing guys who are ready made, they're ready to come into the team, and they're ready to come in and make a difference straight away. Very little of his signings have come in and no made an impact on that team. I mean, he's only played 2 full games, and everybody's already talking about how good Awata is. Big Koba at the back, he's only started a couple of games, and everybody's talking about how good he is. I think he's a lovely player to watch. But again, it's all down to the eye of the manager, Ryan. It's all down to him. The majority of it comes for him. So I think, especially with the Scottish boys, we're too quick to judge in terms of, I remember on here, Ryan, I'll be back at the beginning, mate. We had Ralston and Greg Taylor 1 and 2 first out the door. He's recruitment. So we thought right away they would be replaced. He's kept them and gave them long-term deals. Why? Because they've adapted to what he's wanted them to do. Greg Taylor's taking people on now. He's gone by people for fun. And his energy levels to run by people and get beyond. Like that invertedness coming in the half turn, he's playing iron needle passes, John. That's frightening, Ryan. Ralston was doing that before his injury as well. He was also getting on the end of goals. His goal at Tynecastle, he's winner at Ross County. These guys they've made contributions at very vital stages throughout the season, and that's why it's called a season, because there's moments throughout that season that are going to arise for the team. But the one thing I've noticed about Ange's team is the mindset, Ryan. It's that never give up. We never stop. For that audio training video went out, the mic'd up video went out, and everybody, we all looked impressed, and we were all backing on about it. And mate, that's going to be legendary by the time he's finished, because they've no looked back since Faye said that to them. And even then, if you remember that video, it was a lot of the boys. So it was boys like Stephen Welsh and, the boy Bosun Lowell, and Leo Hageldi was in that video. Luke O'Connell was in the video. Edward was one of the senior players that had just no long came back for pre-season. A lot of the boys had still no come in, like Ryan Christie and that, they were still to join. But when they joined, even Christie, you seen at the start of last season, how good Christie was in terms of the passes he was putting through for Kyogo's hat-trick in the first game against Dundee at Celtic Park. Obviously, it was still a half crowd, but it's been absolutely unbelievable for Ange's come in. And some of the stuff we're playing in terms of football, we're now at a stage right now where we're saying, this is the best Celtic team I remember I've seen in my time. Because it's no lies, it's a fact. We're ready to blow all the stats and all the goals, everything right out. There's still 6 games to go, and we're more or less there. So it's not like you can say, "Oh, you are sitting there fabricating that." Well, no, go and look at all this stuff. This team are going to blow that record right out the water. They're going to blow the Invincibles record, the goal records out the water, and they've no went the season Invincibles. So, in my opinion, mate, it's been absolutely breathtaking watching this team. It really, really has. And obviously I'll let you come back in on that, but just before I do, Leo Porter's joined us tonight. Leo, good evening, mate. It's good to see you, mate. Hope you're well, because he asked a minute or two ago, asked if we were well. Yeah, we're fine, mate. Just a bit cold, obviously, with this weather in Glasgow now, mate. It's kind of really getting to me. And he's asked me there, JP, have you been stealing my hoodie off the washing line? I did, mate, yeah. I did actually, yeah. I'll be back. I'll have it dry cleaned for you, mate, and sent back to you ASAP. Or better still, I'll just leave it outside the shop for you, where I met you last week. If that's all right with yourself, mate. But aye, I hope you're well, Leo. And over to you, Andy Gray. I know you're jumping a bit there. Your wee Jimmy Calderwood rosary beads in your pocket, rattling that bag of gingies there, ready to go. So, aye, over to yourself, mate.
I class a sunbed there, mate, while you were chatting. That'd have been brand new.
I know, mate. It's been hanging about with you too long.
But like you said, in terms of doing very well in terms of the goals and close to records, etc. But apparently, because your Celtic's back winning trophies after one, this is what I want to keep. I want to keep mentioning this. I know it's that season, and I'm not going to mention that season really, but one bad season out of 12 we've had.
You love talking about it.
No, but we've had one, but that was 10, 11, so one bad season out of 12 seasons.
No, I get you, aye.
We're going to, this is just about, it's going to be 11th league trophy in 12. One bad season where Rangers won the league and Celtic, St Johnstone won a double, right? Nobody mentioned how the league was weak. There was no competition, budgets or anything like that. But now Celtic are close to, well, we're not close to, we're potentially going to win a treble if we beat obviously Rangers next week. All of a sudden now the league's not enough and Celtic are too good, they're far apart and the budgets and this and that, and that's not our fault that other teams are not competing with Celtic. That's not Celtic's fault. It's not Celtic, it's not Rangers' fault as well that they are far ahead of everybody else, because Celtic, Rangers, the two top teams in Scotland, they've got the most money in Scotland, they've got the biggest fan bases, they've got bigger everything, so it's just kind of, that's down to every other team to go and get us in that team across the water. That's up to us to keep going forward and no lag behind. It wasn't that when Aberdeen were apparently close to win the league against us. Aberdeen were never going to win the league against Celtic. I don't care what anybody says. Aberdeen were never going to win the league that season, even though it was only 4 or 5 points or they were ahead with a few points. Celtic were always going to do enough to win the league. So anybody who says they were, I'm going to say I think you're maybe living in dreamland, because that team would have, if that team really had to step up, in my opinion, JP, if guys like Scott Brown, your McGregors, your Griffiths, whatever, if they had 2 or 3 games and listen, you need to win these 3 games in the league, I guarantee you that they won the 3 games, because they know what the backlash would have been if we lost like Aberdeen. Oh, they'd have been out the door.
Oh, absolutely.
The manager, the board would have been hit. So to say that Aberdeen were close to winning it, maybe points-wise it might have been close, but if you look at it, was never going to happen. Nobody mentioned how the league was no competitive back then. even though there was no Rangers and all, it
Yeah.
was fine. Aberdeen are maybe doing all right, Hearts are doing all right, Hibs are doing all right. But now Celtic are a bit ahead again. We're winning trophies, doubles. We're doing very well with players. Now the league's uncompetitive.
It's
Because
unhealthy. What was it Tom
it's
McManus says? It's unhealthy.
it's unhealthy. But it wasn't unhealthy with Celtic. We're getting, it's a disaster. They've won nothing this year.
Ange lost to Midtjylland in the
oh.
Champions League qualifiers, and the BBC reporter guy said it was catastrophic.
But this is what I'm saying, right? We all know that season for Celtic was horrendous, right?
Joe, there's a comment in for Joe Curran here. He's commented in for the YouTube line, just basically on what we're chatting about now. He says, "Hi guys, anyone who thought this was a good thing when Ange came in is kidding themselves on, but..."
Oh, definitely at the time, nobody really knew who he was. If you say right away that unless you were from Australia or Japan and you knew of him, because we obviously spoke to a few people.
But that came early, Ryan, as well, if you remember, right? What I'll say to Joe there, if you remember, Joe, yourself, mate, that kind of came early as well as what Ryan's ready to say in terms of the... Nobody knew him, right? Nobody here really knew of him and knew about him. But right away, you were getting interviews from, like, say, Michael Bridges,
Tim Cahill,
Mark Swatzer, guys that worked with him and worked under him, etc., that knew what he was all about, and they were telling us straight away, this guy's going to be an instant success.
Mm-hmm.
But then you would go and do your own due diligence, in my opinion, Ryan, and you see his CV, and you know straight away, and I said this to you even before like we'd actually seen him in the dugout, I says, this guy's no a novice. He's no coming in here to go... Because at the time he was being labelled the next Pedro Caixinha for the league, etc., blah, blah, blah. And I said to you, Ryan, he's no anywhere near that. He knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he's doing. His job all along has been about rebuilding teams and teams that have been struggling, etc. So, sorry to cut in you there, mate. I just thought that was a good point.
No, definitely.
For Joe, but I kind of agree with you, Joe, in terms of the knowing him, especially the identity of him. Like nobody would have knew who he was, but you've kind of got to be optimistic in terms of the season you just had. So, I just
think that that's nonsense about how Celtic need to go away to let teams. What people are saying, I was talking to a few guys on Twitter, and there were obviously a few good points, but a guy said, I think he says to me, you know, like sick. How can you get sick of winning trophies? I don't care if it's Scotland, the League One, the lower
it's
league.
Mental.
Listen, I played football. I was lucky enough to win some trophies and score some goals. You never sick of scoring goals, no matter if it's you're winning 20-0 or you're winning 1-0. You never get sick of winning trophies. You never sick of winning football matches. The feeling you get after winning trophies or scoring a goal, listen, you can't beat that feeling. It's one thing. I've not played football in 5 years, 5.5 years now. I stopped JP. I'd love to go and score a goal and get that feeling back. I miss it. I miss winning trophies, but in a team, you can't beat it. So that's how anybody, I would say, who's still part of a team, still playing football, keep going. Because once you can't play again, you'll think, oh, I miss Saturday, I miss this, I miss the feeling. It's a brilliant feeling winning, so this is how I'm saying about Celtic.
You still score right enough, didn't you, mate? But it's only apps at me. We're not really allowed to mention on the podcast.
That's I'll ask Big Jason what my score was. But we have got a winning machine, mate, Celtic. The manager, the players, you can't beat winning, mate. You can't beat winning trophies. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all it. You can set your family up for life. I totally get that. But I think, see if you had some kids or grandkids, etc. Look what your dad won, look what your granddad won. Look at all that. Oh, brilliant. Do you really think he's going to go, oh, he's all the money? No, we guys at that age love the football. They love the trophies. So, for me, JP, you can't criticise Celtic. I don't know how this is the only Scottish, the only league in the world, in my opinion, that slaughters a team for being successful.
I know it
is. Barcelona and Madrid, it's just a bit of two-dog fight all the time in Spain. Unless if Madrid or Valencia, etc., have a wonderful transfer one day and other teams fail. You've got PSG normally win the league. It used to be Lyon and Monaco. Now it's just about, I know Lille and Rennes and that have tried to challenge, but now it's just PSG. Bayern Munich, it's Bayern Munich, Dortmund, or Bayern Munich, Leipzig, roughly, and Leverkusen now and again. It's number 2 or 3 dogfight. But now, because Celtic's doing well, it's unhealthy. It's not good for the league. Maybe Celtic need to go elsewhere and that. But see if next year, if we lose the league, Rangers are back. Oh, brilliant. Nobody's going to mention about the league being unhealthy. But because the Celtic's back, why not just appreciate, JP, the football they're showing Scottish football? The players that they're attracting to Scottish football. The manager they've got to Scottish football. Scottish football should be booming with Celtic doing well. Rangers getting to a final last year. Why? That's what I'm saying about us advertising our game. We don't advertise at Celtic. I've got Jota playing for them, Vickers playing for them, Kyogo's playing for them. They don't advertise all this. So for me, mate, I could go on and rant about it for months and days and years because it really annoys me that. Listen, I'm not saying.
I'd imagine if you started doing that, mate, we would lose some viewers quickly.
Probably. I'm not saying that we are the finished article or we're the best team in the world, but right now we're the best team in Scotland. So why not appreciate what Celtic are doing as a football fan?
Listen, I'm going to be really honest with you now, mate. I think a lot of people should be very, very grateful for what Celtic have brought Scottish football in terms of showing them the beautiful game, in terms of winning a domestic treble 4 times in a row. They've won a quadruple treble 4 years in a row. And we've got a good chance this season to do 5 out of the last 7 years.
But yeah, it's unhealthy.
That's unbelievable, but yeah, the game's unhealthy.
It's bonkers, mate. I just can't get how you can sit and put down a team that's doing well. It's the Scottish mentality, mate. But in terms of Ange, mate, the guy's been brilliant. I'm savouring every minute he's here because in football, we don't know what can happen next. So I'm not saying he's away, but we didn't think Brendan Rodgers was going to go. Well, let's be fair, a few years got word that he was maybe gone in November, that he was gone. So I kind of prepare myself. I get told it was November, December, that he was maybe gone. But it was a silly WhatsApp message. I didn't take it for anything. Then it found out in February he was away. So I'm thinking, right, putting 2 together, maybe that was a sign. But that was a while ago now. All I'm saying to any Celtic fan is any player we've got that's top, your Jotas, no McGregor, because McGregor for me will be here until he retires probably. Guys like Jota, your Vickers, your Kyogos, Hatatis, O'Reillys, just enjoy them now. Enjoy them because then the next year or the summer or forward that, they're going to eventually going to be away because they're going to get eventually suited by bigger teams. And that's just unlucky for us that sometimes money does talk eventually. And like I say to you on JP, we love Celtic, we love Scottish football, but there's only so much we can do here as players. Winning leagues is brilliant and winning trebles is amazing, but eventually I think you will need to broaden your horizon and maybe if you're ambitious, you might want to go and try abroad. You might want to try something different. But that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. They might be happy here. They might love Glasgow. They might be getting okay money at Celtic, which they will be. They're winning trophies. They're part of a big family, I should say. Why would you want to leave? But other people have got different circumstances and they might need to go. Yeah. But in terms of Ange, mate, I'll let you back in with the next topic, mate. But I think for me, Ange has been brilliant, mate. And I think Scottish football should actually just appreciate what he's bringing to Scottish football. Take away your Celtic specs, your Rangers specs, Aberdeen specs, whatever. Just look at the band of football.
I've only got the Celtic ones left,
but
mate.
I've got
the other ones left.
JP, I still don't think we've not been brilliant this year. We've not been brilliant this year.
We haven't, but obviously we're going to come to that in a minute or two.
But games we've been very, very good, but even against Rangers the other week, didn't think we were great. And still won 3-2 and a wee bit in hand. I'm not saying that we're amazing and this and that, but in terms of Scottish football, if you just look at the facts, we're a wee bit ahead now. We're quite a bit ahead now in terms of the stats and the facts. So I think that kind of shuts down the end of the media as kind of talk in terms of being unhealthy because I think it's crazy.
No, I've just seen a wee commenter for Red Scotland's joining us tonight. He said, "Hey, well, Ryan and JP and the rest of the guys that's commenting in as well." He says, "I've got yous on in the background. I'm playing chess." Nice to see Red's get his priorities in order, to be fair. Really, Ryan, I think Red should maybe pawn his chessboard and get himself a wee tablet or iPad so he can watch his full-heartedly with the volume up rather than in the background.
That's because he's watching us Kings.
Well, that's it. There you go. That's it. And I really don't know where else. I don't know apart from and well, I'm glad he can watch us and he's not actually getting bored of watching us. But
he's not having to change places. That's it for the night. Let's go. Get a tea on.
It's no tea I'm needing.
Vodka.
Aye. One of the golden gingers you see in the bottles now and again. Joe's actually came back in chatting about Ange and he said after his interview with ex-Dom, he convinced me, he says, but I'm nearly 50-year merit, but I'd leave her to follow Ange. To be fair, Joe, this is a friendly show, mate. We don't encourage any of that kind of domestic stuff. But good on you, mate. Because I think a lot of guys would be jumping on that train with you, mate. To be honest, I wouldn't, because I know my breed's buttered one of the ones, innit? It's I know Ryan wouldn't, because it would take him away for the fantastic apps he likes to talk about every now and again as well. So I think, yeah, Big Alex knows me too well. He says, coffee, JP. Wouldn't mind, mate. 2 sugars and milk. Thanks very much.
I think Alex likes a Bailey's coffee. What about that?
I think so. One of the ones that you put that magical stuff. What's it called again? Jameson's or something you drop in it, innit? So.
And I was going to say something else, but Big Jason might come on a bit of whipped cream.
Aye. A ghetto blaster blaring out Marvin Gaye.
Let's get it on.
Aye. And this is a karaoke bit of the podcast tonight. First up, we've got Andy Gray. Aye. Went for a curry one night, the waiter came back, says, karaoke? I says, aye, put me down for Frank Sinatra, maybe.
Aye. I did it my way.
Aye, definitely. Right, where were we? Ange's recruitment. Aye. Ange's recruitment. So he's brought in guys like this. And I'll leave that up just in case MD at first glance thinks Abada's doing anything vulgar there or anything that he shouldn't be doing. He's definitely not. Because I actually had to take a double take at this photo thinking he was doing something that he shouldn't have been. But that's my dirty mind. Now we've got this. This here. These two here. And this man here. To be honest with you, his recruitment has been absolutely unbelievable. And the fines that he's brought in from... Sorry, I've got a couple more. Here's one here. And... like I says to you, Ryan, and this kind of value that we now are very well known for, it's just been absolutely unbelievable, hasn't it? I mean, it's been frightening. Like I says, mate, his recruitment and the real attention to detail and the recruitment is what's got me, Ryan, in terms of the players that he's brought in. He knows they're coachable because he knows they're adaptable to that style. It's not just that, he's also quite big on the character of the individual as well. And, what they're going to bring to the table when they come into the squad. And right away, mate, like, he's identified Callum McGregor as the captain. he gets the captaincy, and then he brings in a guy who's just as much senior to Callum, and a goalkeeper like Joe Hart, who's played at the top level his career, internationally, Champions League, played in the English Premier League. Great experience to come in and help him, to come in and help like say Callum McGregor. But no, like say no. I mean, I put up the photo earlier on, but the man that's in the picture, for me, he's a massive, massive character in the team. Is this man here, Alistair Johnson. I just think he's massive for a squad. He looks as if he's very vocal. He looks as if he's got a great relationship with everyone in the squad as well. And it's great to see, Ryan, when you see it when the games are finished and they're all going round the pitch. There's no cliquiness in the squad. There's no any, like I says to you, it's the Japanese boys and then it's them and then it's them and then there's none of that at all. They're all together. Biki Ogo's at the forefront of, him and Big O, and you see these guys are real characters, you can tell. Haksabanovic cuddling people and, talking away to Joe Hart, and then they're all online today just wishing Joe Hart happy birthday because it's his birthday today. And it was nice to see Giacomakis and Juranovic joining in with that as well, who are no longer with us. They've moved on to other clubs. But it's just the way they are. It's the dressing room we've got now. And I nearly fell out. I really did, mate. I nearly fell off my chair when you sent me that clip with Tam McManus. I didn't know what else to do. What are we supposed to do? Just say, oh, do you know what? This is mental. We keep winning this all the time. So, no, what we'll do? We'll take a sabbatical and we'll come out of the league for a year and hopefully give the rest of them a chance. What are we supposed to do? You can only beat what's put in front of you. And by the way, the team across the water have been hammering home about how good they are and this and that, and their fans are this, and and how good they are. This is us, like you says, and probably we've spoke on here at length about it. We've not played anywhere out of second gear all season, and we're still, in my opinion, Ryan, we've cantered this league. It's 12 points. It's 29 goals. Probably going to finish more because we still have a fixture to play in in the league. So, bearing in mind they've got some tough games coming up as well. They've got now some injuries to their squad. But it's been absolutely phenomenal, Ryan. And we're kind of looking for things to maybe start wee debates and on here because, we don't want to say they're perfect. You're right, we're on the finished article, but we're getting there. We're now guaranteed another season in the Champions League. So we're going to be guaranteed 6 blockbuster games. So again, that allows you to dangle a bigger carrot when you're, again, doing your recruitment. So, mate, like Tam McManus can sit in the PLZ Soccer podcast room or wherever that is, at studio they were in, and say whatever he says. I can't mind what Tam McManus done in football. Maybe he should lay low for a wee while and count his medals. Oh, I forgot that. Will not take him too long. So, take it easy. Lay low for a wee while and just watch the telly and watch football from afar instead of sitting in a studio talking absolute tripe about what's happening with another team that you don't even have any affiliation with or any, And by the way, before people are, even if he wants to say anything about this, it's fine. He can if he wants. I'm a big boy. He's trying to say, I know this isn't Celtic's fault, blah, 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 but it's unhealthy. What's unhealthy about it?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody mentioned about how Rangers won the league with about 15 odd points or whatever, 20 odd points, whatever it was. Nobody mentioned that was unhealthy.
No,
Nobody.
nobody says, oh, that's a shame. So it's a shame for the rest of them because we are so dominant.
Was it 20 points or something? Beat us or something? What was it?
But the year, the one that you love chatting about.
Aye. Was it 20 odd points or something?
To be honest, I'm going to be really honest. People are going to say, JP, how can you forget that? I've actually put it right out my head. I really have, mate. It seems like, no, what it seems like to me, it seems like millions of years ago.
But if we...
Away in the distance, like, in my memory.
But St Johnstone, it's that... I know why they want to say it was unhealthy for them because St Johnstone won the double, etc. Right? So does that not tell you about that Rangers team? They just about the first glorified chance about winning a domestic treble in years.
St Johnstone won the 2 cups.
That's what I mean, right. So Rangers had the chance to win the treble. Now listen, they said that us winning trebles, it's easy to win trebles in Scotland, it's easy to win leagues, etc., etc. They played under a horrendous Celtic team at that time. We weren't very good, right? We still had good players. It just didn't work out. It was a bad season.
Just all went. Everything that could have went wrong for us that season went wrong for us that season.
St John's won the double and they'll get relegated the next season. Just about they didn't do well at all the next year, and I know they well no either. St John's won a double. It wasn't a fluke. They've done a fantastic season. Brilliant. I love seeing other teams winning. If we're no obviously involved, it's good to see underdogs win, right? Nobody mentioned about how they're unhealthy. Nobody mentioned that it's no competitive. It's the Rangers have won the league with so many points. It's no right that that's happening and blah 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 blah. But now because of Celtic are 12 clear, won a double, maybe possibly a treble, back into Champions League. Business is booming. Training gears are going to sell. Season boots are going to sell. Everything's going to sell. Celtic are going to be in revenue to the halt. Celtic are going to be like that. Right? Who's coming, right? But you want 45? We can maybe give you that. Right, there you go. But them, I don't care what anybody says. They're in shaky water. Michael Beale says you need 4 or 5 players.
I
don't.
Just to get near us.
In a series.
Imagine, listen, see if you're a manager of your, the rival of your other rivals, right? Why would you come out publicly and say, more or less say, we're not good enough?
But he done that before the game at 2 each. Oh, we need
but you know rather do Pedro Caixinha and just say we're the best in the league or something like that. You know, I know that was bizarre. I know, and Big Sutton questioned him on that, right?
He's batting his team up.
No, I get that. But she's saying that we're 4 or 5 away. Mate.
Even Kenny Miller said that we're only a few goals away. Listen, I'm really sorry, right? I know we have a lot of background here, right? But in a serious football conversation, they've got about 8 players roughly out of contract. So you're going to sign 4 or 5 players.
They're just about to let 2 of their biggest assets. It would have been 3, maybe 3, 4, between 3 and 4 seasons ago.
So you're
ready to walk for hee-haw.
So you're going to let about 8 go. Now bear in mind that there's rumours that Hadji gone now. Other guys gone, right?
Oh, is there? All right, that's new to me. I've not seen that.
Apparently, is it Lazio or somebody went Hadji for 3 million?
Really, aye?
Right? Apparently, right?
It's got to be down to his dad, surely, not down to his footballing ability.
So, if they lose him, right, apparently he's a very good player, right? If they lose him, they're going to need to bring in JP at least 8 players. At least 8 players. They're going to say, no, because your team didn't win the league last year. You've still got Ryan Jack, Barello's, obviously he's going to leave, but Ryan Jack, Arfield, Golson, McGregor, McLaughlin, Haaland is still there. Guys who have played last year didn't win the league. They played this year, no won the league. You need to refresh your team, and it's not. But
that's what I said to you, Ryan. They weren't good enough to stop us last season. What made them think they were going to keep the nucleus was going to be good enough this season?
It's still just 4 or 5 players, right? And we're going to progress. We're going to sign 4 or 5 top players. Aberdeen are going to hopefully progress again because we want other teams to progress to catch us. I
think if Dundee United as well, I think Dundee United will get better under Jim.
They've got. I think if they want to spend money, JP, I think they'll spend though because the guy who owns him is quite wealthy. This American guy. So Hibs, if they get into the top 6 or they finish third, I know it's a bit of miracle, but if they do, Lee Johnson will have a bit more money to spend. These teams will need to spend if they want to get near us. So every season, these teams progress. So the other mob will need to do it. And 4 or 5 in a series, this isn't take away your Celtic specs here in a series football and conversation. 4 or 5 players will cut it. If you think 4 or 5 players are going to knock a team that could potentially win more by more than 12 points, potentially win the treble, and you're going to just sign 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt. Come on. Be realistic here, JP. How is that then? Celtic could no sign.
By the way, they need to hit the ground running straight away as well.
Celtic could potentially no sign anybody this year and still do well next year.
But this is what we spoke about when it was me going to 2 Barrys, Barry Bannon and Big Barry McCandless. If I've lost my train of thought. No, if we beat them in the semi-final and at the end of the month, and then they don't beat us at Ibrox, because again, we don't need to go there and go gung-ho to, although that's not the way Ange will set up, we know that, but this is hypothetical here. If we go there and they don't beat us, that's 4 derbies he's not won a game in.
But yet 4 or 5 players are there.
He's lost a cup final. He's lost a game at Celtic Park. If he loses a semi-final in the other cup and then loses a final league game at over there at the Big Coast, as I call it,
the Big Tesco.
If they go into the transfer market, right, and they sign players and try and refresh their squad and do what they're doing, and we sign players when we get into next season, see if they don't win the first derby of the season, right?
Pressure's on.
But the pressure's already. See if we beat them in a semi-final, there's going to be fans asking questions already about is he going to be good enough longer term? Because the indications up to now have surely showed that that's not going to be the case. Now, people are saying to me, that's not his team. That's not his team. He's been there long enough now to get them into buying into the way he wants to play. I don't care what anybody says, right? See if you're a good manager, you can change a team like that. Thomas Tuchel done it with Chelsea, went on and won the Champions League with him. Mm-hmm. They were having a horrendous season that season under Lampard, if you remember, right? And again, mate, that baffles me as to why he's back here again. But at the time, they weren't going well. They then were... They then brought in Thomas Tuchel, and he changes it straight away. People talk about this new manager bounce.
Doesn't know what's happened.
Like, they're banging on like he's this. I watched Open Goal a couple of weeks ago, and it Kenny Miller, Derek Ferguson, Simon Ferry, and Paul Slane. No, sorry, it was Kevin Kyle, I think it was. It might have been Paul Slane, I'm not actually 100% sure. But Kenny Miller was trying to say, like, talk about that, the last Glasgow derby, saying that, it was 2 good teams going there, 2 good managers. And I'm saying, what indication have you got, Kenny, to tell me that he's a good manager? About to coach you? Aye, right, so he might be a good coach, but see being a good coach, Ryan, to then having to take the hot seat yourself, it's no the same job. Because when he was there before as a coach, and it was a bit like, remember, who was it? I think it was Kenny Miller. He called Graham Murray Mutts.
Aye.
Mind? So you can't then be a pal. You've then got to be...
I noticed that, Barry. I don't know
take yourself back and be like you've got... You then become their boss. So you then need to start telling them what to do.
See, sorry to cut you in, but...
No, it's all right, mate.
I don't know if you've seen that... talking about calling guys nicknames. I'm sure it was... Don't quote me on the exact play, but I'm sure it was Cammy Devlin. He called Stephen Naismith Nazy. Right away, that's you saying you've no respect for him.
But again, Ryan, that they're used to calling him that because he was a coach.
But see, when you're a manager, you need to call him Gaffer or Stephen. You can't call him Nazy.
No, I get that. I get. So when was that? When was that interview? Was it the lead up to the Hibs game?
Another day.
Right. So after that Hibs game.
He was talking about. He said Nazy. I don't care if he was a coach. He's as a stand-in. He's stand-in your manager. In my opinion, you can't then go like Mutts or That's like McGregor going, Postecoglou. He can't do that. He's a
Aye.
manager. It
Big,
doesn't matter.
or Big Ange.
Aye, it doesn't matter if
Aye.
he's there for a game, an hour, or he's there for 5 months or 5 years.
No, I get you, mate. I totally get you.
Right away, right? So Naismith's just been called Nazy. So he's going to stand in the dressing room, think to yourself, do they think I'm the gaffer or am I just Nazy the coach?
No.
With Mutts. You put against Celtic or Mutts and this and Mutts. For me, JP,
Mental.
That's disrespectful, man.
And then you seen how quickly it turned again because Andy Halliday, didn't like the way Mutts made that decision to bring him off when they were getting scalped and thought he should have stayed on. I was like, even when I seen him doing that, I thought it just shows you that you don't do that in front of people. And to be fair, I thought he handled himself quite well in that situation, Graham Murray. I really did. When Andy Halliday done that and disrespected him like that. But Kenny Miller sitting again on a podcast chatting about two good managers. Show me evidence that guy is a good manager. Because he was a manager. He hadn't been a manager until he was only a QPR manager for a couple of months.
I've said to you, JP, I respect Michael Beale as a coach, right? I think he was, and he is a fantastic. He don't work with Liverpool and what he did, and obviously still work with Rangers at a high level, and no be a good.
I think he worked in Brazil as well, didn't he?
He's worked abroad. You need to have some sort of professional good background and knowledge of the game, right? But like you says, being a coach and winning trophies is a part of his management team, and being your own man at Celtic or Rangers, it's a total different ballgame. I
just think he's really silly the way he carries himself in terms of interviews and stuff, Ryan, because you don't come out and talk gibberish and say things like, he called us the other mob right away. It was him that started that. Mental. Right, that was in his first presser. And he addressed the other teams' names in the league that they were going to be playing against. But then he mentioned us, the other mob. So then that joined that gravy train continued on to Sakala.
It's all right, me and you sent a podcast. We had a bit of banter all on mob. We're no professionals.
No,
we're your colleagues.
But we're sitting here and, it's not the fact that it's the colleagues, it's the fact that right away, Ryan, he tried to create this wee bit of needle between him and Ange and between him and Celtic. I don't know, like I said, like we've said on here, mate, I don't know if he was praying to the choir or what he was doing, but that's naivety as a manager, Ryan. He doesn't carry himself as an experienced manager. An experienced manager wouldn't get... And then the whole thing with Chris Sutton as well. Chris Sutton winding him up and then he reacts to it live in his presser. Mate, you let that...
You're talking about a guy that's playing a European final. You're talking about a guy that's won...
No, I know, Ryan, but what I'm trying to say is right away, mate, me and you are the managers, mate, and she's like one of the journalists said to me now, sitting here talking to you, Chris Sutton was saying that about you, I just went, oh well, at least he's gave me a wee mention. Or I would have played it down some way along the lines. I wouldn't have reacted to it to give then the papers headlines to make. And so again, mate, I just think
he would do that personally behind media doors.
I just think he showed a lot of naivety that's got a lot of people, like, we're laughing at him, because of some of the nonsense he's came away with. Mm-hmm. But I would imagine now, Ryan, after so many derbies, if they aren't winning and they're not, the penny will start dropping with the fans like this. As much, I'm trying to do my best, right? By all means, everybody that's watching us now, by all means, I'm trying to do my best with this because remember really clearly right now, this is the same mob that used to turn up to football matches with Warburton's loaf packets on their heads. So when I said there the penny will drop, I'm trying to do my best. I really am trying to do my best to give them some sort of credit, right? In terms of, I know you're laughing, Ryan, right? But I'm actually doing well not to laugh myself here because I'm trying to sort of give them that wee bit of credit. They might not get it in the long run because the penny might not drop. They might still think he's a superstar. I really, by all means, love it when I see things wrote that he's a superstar and Kenny Miller saying he's a good manager, and because I've yet to see what this guy brings to the table.
You can't sit right now.
Their fans says that Cantwell and Raskin would have been a better selection choice for the final. I'm still waiting to see what they see, Ryan. It's the same with the boy Tillman.
See, in terms of Michael Beale, right? See, this is, like you say, it's talking in the future, it's hypothetical, right? See, if they won the league next year, or a double, or a treble, or they won 3 years, or whatever, if they're doing well next year, or years gone past, or year gone forward, sorry, then they'll go, do you know what? Right, okay, prove yourself at the Rangers, right, good manager, fair enough. But you can't right now say that he's a good manager when he's only managed one team for a few weeks, a few months, and one team for you can't say that. You've no trophies to back it up. You've nothing to back it up, but he's a good manager. He done no right with QPR, they were third or whatever, they were second, whatever.
Yep.
I get that, right? But he's jumped ship to Rangers, and right now you can't say that he's doing well at Rangers. He's doing well in terms of when it comes to
they're able to beat everybody else, right?
But no Celtic, and that's
they look good against everybody else because the rest of the teams maybe don't have the manpower to set up and have a go at them.
You're there to beat your. It's all right. I say to you, right? It's all right us beating like Dundee 19-9-0 and Matt O'Reilly's cruising through games and Kyogo been amazing, but then obviously at the start of the season when he wasn't really scoring against Rangers until he scored against them in the 2 each game. He's not really scoring against Rangers, etc., etc. But then now he does it, he's done it again and again, and he's proven himself now, so we can't say he doesn't take him these big games because
Francis has made a great point there, Ryan, just about we're talking about here. He said, Tillman, Raskin, Cantwell only show against inferior teams. I totally agree with that, mate, because they've done nothing in a big game. Like, even in the Champions League, Tillman was... Mate, honestly, he'd struggle to get a game of 5 or 6 with me.
I just think for me, mate, in terms of Celtic, this is not just a normal Celtic team. This is a Celtic team that's starting to motor going forward. I still don't think we've been great. I still think that the only game I thought that we could have lost and a wee bit was the game we do 2 each, because for 20 minutes we just lost the rag. And that was obviously due to Rangers and was due to us losing the rag. But you've got to give them credit. They go to 2-1 and we came back to 2 each. And we looked like if there was an extra 5 minutes, we could have got a third. That's probably the closest game I've seen Rangers maybe get some off, is because when we went 3-1 recently, for me, I know they went 3-2, but for me, I thought the game was done when they went 3-3 when the game was done. The semi-final, they did bits and bobs of the game, but I thought if we had to go up another level, I thought we could have, if we had to. Yeah. I think that's the difference. I'm not saying JP that we're 100 miles in front or this and that. We are far ahead. The stats tell you that. But I think if we need to go through gears, I think we can. I don't think they can. Maybe next year they can with new signings. Maybe aye. But in terms of right now, I'm like you, JP. I try my best to be balanced, and I begin my wee bit of abuse and we slaughter them. It's a bit of banter. But in terms of real football content,
but anything we say about them in terms of real football, it's warranted, Ryan. It's not something that we're fabricating or making up. Or,
now, they can't compete with us. See if they beat us next week. They beat us next week. It's a one-half cup game. It doesn't mean that's you, boom, that's us back with Celtic. Anybody can beat anyone in a cup game. We would beat up at Ross County, Inverness, and Falkirk, etc. Blah, blah, whatever. We would beat half of Diddy's. Sorry, no disrespect, but compared to Celtic, Diddy teams, let's be fair, it's teams that shouldn't be beating Celtic. Ross County should not be beating Celtic in semi-finals.
Yeah, I'm afraid that, but the last time we'll be on live at all. It was good. It was good while it lasted. You said that, mate.
Listen, in terms of Celtic, teams like Inverness and Falkirk, etc., Ross County, teams that are known par with you shouldn't be beating you in finals and semi-finals. But it's a one-half game, so anything can happen. It shouldn't be happening, but this is why doing in England the FA Cup is a brilliant thing, because teams you could call, listen, that was disrespectful, but what I mean is teams that are compared, like the CIS Cup, it was the League Cup now, used to be called the Diddy Cup because it was apparently the wee shitty cup that nobody wants to win, but when you win it, say, hey, it's part of the treble. It's the same as these so-called Diddy teams or less inferior teams. When they come and play you in the FA Cup and they beat you, it's embarrassing for some of these teams, but it's good for the FA Cup because it puts FA Cup out there and it's good. And
Yep.
it's the same when these teams beat us and Ross County beat us and Lennon was under pressure, etc., etc. It's good for Scottish football. But when we beat them 4 and 5, 6-0, it's not good for Scottish football.
Yeah.
Make your mind up here just because they beat us. So, in terms of us, mate, I just think that right now we're ahead. Every capacity, nobody can really deny that. In terms of you can't deny it. I'm not saying we're Man City or we're Barcelona, but in terms of Scottish football now, we're the top team. The stats tell you that, and then as soon as we lift the league trophy, then that's the facts there. Top team again, back on the league winning trail. But a wee question for you. Here's a wee one, right? And a wee question for the viewers as well, if you want to put in the comments as well. If you had JP to save your life or death, penalty at Celtic, who would be your main man to take it? If it be your life, just to talk to strikers, right? The Hoopers, the Bellies, Edwards, no Larson, but
How no?
I go Larson, right? Go include for Martin Hill's era to the now, right?
Right.
If your life depended on it, who would you pick in the last minute? If you had to score the goal,
right,
who would you pick?
Larson. All day long, Henrik. All day long, because he was massive for his run, and he scored. I can't even remember what the stat is, but his stats for penalties were unbelievable. Do you know what, Alex? He's made a wee comment, Ryan. This is what I said to you when you sent it to me. Aaron Moy, because he's not missed a penalty.
I laughed at
it. He's not missed a penalty. That was the reason I said that to you before we came on. When you text me earlier, just having a laugh, and I says Aaron Moy. But no, if you're going back to that era, Henrik, because he was unbelievable.
Just take it. Obviously, I can say Henrik.
Aye, Red. Sorry, mate. I was meaning. Red's put up Henrik's goals for us. Red, cheers for that, mate. I wasn't meaning just the actual goals he was scoring, mate. I was meaning the actual how many penalties he scored for us. Because he had a very, very good record for us.
If you take away him, right, who would you have to take away Larson? Let's be fair, in terms of favourite players and whatever. But listen, with Dawson, who would you? Because I know mine. I would say I would stop between two.
Right, okay. You've said strikers, but haven't you? So
aye.
So Bigden Belly was very good at them, I know.
If you want to do anybody, fire away. But I was just, for me, it was
right.
striker wise.
Okay, striker wise. Lee Griffiths was quite good at him, I know. He could bend them right into the stanchion sort of thing at the side of the post. But if I did have to choose, I would out with Henrik. I'd say Big Musa. I don't think he missed. I don't think he missed. I think he scored every penalty he hit as well. People would need to check that, but I'm sure when you look at his Panenka against him at Hampden, where he sends League One Wes for a cup of coffee and a bit of toast. So no, as I say, it's aye. What about yourself?
I was stuck on between the guy that I love, Gary Hooper, and Edward.
Did Hooper hit penalties for us? I don't know if he was a penalty taker on that team. I thought it was Commons.
I think in terms of striking ability, I'd have loved Hooper to take him. I think Hooper was phenomenal.
A couple of comments coming in and all. Like Alan Thompson, somebody said Tom Matty said Tomo. Aye. Larson, Dembele.
Kenny's Craig Bellamy. That's a good shout, I know. Bellers.
Aye.
For me, the only reason I'm saying Edward is because I just think how cool he is. Nothing phases him. You knew that if they're under pressure.
Robbie Keane.
That's another good shout. I love Keane. Brilliant player.
The
only reason I'm saying Edward was because the penalty for me that sticks in the memory was that one against Hearts. That was unbelievable. That was under pressure in a final and you Panenka it, that is phenomenal. I know Dembele done it against Rangers or semi, but the final, Edward,
Francis has gave us a wee comment. He's been back a few years. Charlie Nicholas, he only missed one all seasons he played for us. He scored 2 in one game against Rangers. That's right. I remember that. I know.
I was not fortunate enough to obviously see Charlie play, but for me, in recent times, for me, it's got to be Edward. I just think that penalty against Hearts for me. I was watching it with my old man. I'm thinking, did he just Panenka that in a cup final? Seriously, it was just so cool. And honestly, JP, I still to this day, I've watched it a few times back in the last few weeks. Honestly,
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the recent comment. The donkey boss has said, penalty for Celtic. When was that? No, by the way, there was a point. There was a time, Donkey, they used to get penalties.
For me, on that question, mate, Edward, mate, I just think Edward was. I think sometimes he gets a bit of kind of criticism that was untowards.
John says Larson missed 10 penalties for us. For me, but you look at it, he was there for 8 years. That's not bad, by the way.
I just think some of the comments that Edward gets against him, I think it's a bit. I think he got like 22 goals or 23 goals in 40 games and the season we lost to 10.
Aye.
And that was a guy that supposedly lacked ambition and lacked attitude. And I know he might have maybe better, maybe running. I get that, right? But Edward was bought to score goals.
Yeah.
And he scored goals.
I'm actually surprised at how little we've heard of him even at Crystal Palace because
he's not done the best in there, but I actually watched the game the other day for them and he done all right, but I think he's maybe going to regret leaving Celtic.
Probably the grass isn't greener, mate. I don't know, a lot of players have said that.
I thought Edward would have done very well down at Palace. I thought Palace was a ranked team. I thought he'd have been better going to a team that plays attack football, and because for me, Edward, listen, see if you see me Ryan, if I can get Edward and more for 10 million, but take him back, even for £10 million, fucking too right, you big.
Yeah.
Fucking too right. The guy was quality. People will just, it's the same with Rodgers, JP. People will dismantle Rodgers, he's what he done at Celtic because of where he left, but you can't take away Rodgers, he's what he done at Celtic. He gave me, like I said to you on the phone, the goal that Rogic scored in his team gave me the best day, one of the best days of my life as a Celtic fan. Phenomenal. For me, Edward, brilliant player. He was the sort of guy that you've got to remember as well. He played in this team with Kyogo as well at Ibrox. He played. Imagine they two up front in this team at full.
What a man he missed!
Brilliant, man.
The man he missed was unbelievable. But no, definitely, mate. But obviously that brings us to the end of our wee chat tonight, mate. It's been very, very good. But obviously, before we go any further, I've not forgot. I was waiting to now to do it. Again, another wee comment on the man here I put up on the screen, folks. This is Rhys Roger. For anybody that maybe doesn't know or has not heard of what's happened, Rhys went missing over 4 weeks ago. He was out camping with a group of his friends and he's disappeared. So he was out at Loch Rannoch when he disappeared on a camping trip. His friends thought it was 18th of March. His friends thought that he went to bed and they all probably went to their beds as they do on a camping trip, I'd imagine, if they were having a wee refreshment or two. And then obviously they've all got up the next day and Rhys wasn't there, he's gone. There's been no traces of Rhys and no sign of him at all. There's been nothing. Rhys has a young family. He's got 2 young boys, both under the age of 5. And Rhys's loving partner and mum and family have been, probably going out their minds, Ryan, I would imagine, this time, mate. And the longer he's away, it must feel like an absolute eternity to his family. So again, guys, I really, really need to hammer this home. Anybody that has any possible information regarding this young man, please contact his family and come forward. The page is the very thing you see in that photo It's on Facebook. It's been set up by his cousin, Laura Swan. I've had quite a bit of dialogue with Laura, and I told her we would continue to do this until there is closure on this matter. So again, Missing Help Us Find Rhys is the name of the Facebook page, and there is lots happening. There is searches happening every couple of days for Rhys. Where they're going over and over and over the area. He's been on his information, and his family, his partner, and his mum have been on the TV programme, Vanished, it's called. So it was on there. So again, anybody that wants any more information on that can go onto My5, the app, and just type in Vanished, and it's episode 2 on there that you'll get the information about Rhys further from maybe what I'm saying just now. But again, Ryan, thoughts and prayers are with his family at this sad time, because it's been quite a while now. He's been gone, mate, and I can only imagine what his family mentally and physically are going through just now, mate.
Yeah, mate, like you says, we'll keep hammering at home every podcast that we can, and hopefully we'll, if Rhys is watching us, hopefully, mate, you are, and you can get in contact with your family, anybody who was around at the time, anybody that maybe knows anything. If this can re-jog your memory, maybe you've seen something that night and you forgot and now you can remember, please contact Laura Swan, please contact the Facebook page, please contact anybody you can that's involved. And I hope he's found soon, JP, because like you said as well, I think it's the fact that anybody that goes missing is terrible, but I think being part of the Celtic family as well, you can look out for your own as well. So hopefully this can hopefully end soon for his family, because like you say, JP, it must be a nightmare. Waking up every day and he's not there, and it must be hard to go to sleep knowing that he's still out there. But we all know that obviously you've got to sleep and stuff, and you've got to look at yourself as well. But obviously when your family's when something's happened to your family, you don't think about yourself. All you think about is dealing with your family and hoping to get them better and getting them back safe. So I really hope, JP, that soon something can come up, because it must be so hard, JP. I can sit here and say that I can imagine, but I can't imagine. I can only do my best to try and help as much as we can. And I hope anybody that's watching the podcast or listen when it's out in the platforms, if anybody can come with any information, even if it's to me and JP on Twitter or any social media platform, if you don't feel that you can go to the family, you can come to us and we can pass a message on. But I know what JP says. I know we like a chat and a good banter, and we talk about the Rangers, etc., and it's a good little bit of laugh and a joke. But there's more serious stuff in the world, and this is quite serious and a matter that needs to hopefully get resolved soon, JP.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Like Ryan, I was just saying, what Ryan says, it must be absolutely disastrous for his family at this sad time. So again, my thoughts and my prayers stay with them. And like I says, we will continue to put this message out there. Laura Swan, if you're watching as well, until there is closure one way or another on this matter. So fingers crossed we do hear something soon. But again, guys, thank you very much for everybody that's tuned in to us tonight. I've seen some of your comments coming in, telling us it's been a great chat and it's been a good pod. Thank you very much for your continued support. We do have a target, guys. This is where we kind of want you to chip in and help us a wee bit. We do have a target of reaching 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel before the season ends. So please, again, guys, anybody that can, please get us shared out again with your brothers, your dads, your family, anybody that's would be interested in listening to a couple of guys from East End of Glasgow, having a laugh about facial hair or whatever it may be, talking about people with bread packets on their heads and stuff. They're more than welcome, because we love doing this, and we don't charge any money for it either. So this is totally free. And all it is you just click a button which is subscribe, and that's all we ask. For any newcomers to the podcast, if you like the content, please click the wee bell and the subscribe button, because again, we fully appreciate all the the support and the continued messages that we get, and we get the when we get the comments in the community section of the channel as well. It's great, and myself and Ryan have got direct access to it, so we see everything. So don't think for a minute you're being ignored at all. We do get to see it all. But again, guys, we would love you to be able to share this with as many people as you can who are in the Celtic family, as we call it, because it would help us, and it would also then help you guys get notified again when we go live, or anything that the page is maybe doing at all. It would help you. A wee announcement for you as well before we go.
Yep.
The Friday Goal Rush show won't be happening this week. The reason for that is because we've got a very special guest joining us on Friday night at 8 p.m. on the channel, and it's football manager Brian Rhys. Brian used to be the Hamilton manager, and now he's with Alloa. And Brian will be joining us on the channel this coming Friday night at 8 p.m. when myself and Ryan will be having a chat with Brian about both his football career and his manager career. We've also got another guest lined up for next week, but again, we'll announce that near the time. Like I says, we are busy, and it's Big Ange's motto has stuck with us as well. We never stop. Well, just look at Ryan. I mean, I don't know whether he's grown a beard or acting a goat. It's something you can ask him privately if you want. But same again, guys. It's much appreciated. Ryan, it's been great being on chatting to you tonight again, mate. Always is a pleasure when the two Ronnies join one another. We're on here having a laugh. So it's a good night from me.
It's a good night from me.
Hail, hail.
Hail, hail.
Now remember, lads, please remember this. Get your hats, your scarves, 2 jumpers, and a big heavy fucking jacket, because it's -12 in Glasgow!
By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they have taken you away, for you start your valiant scorn, so the young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. Low lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. Our love was on the wind. We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By a lonely prison wall, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine,